Hello and welcome to Symbolic Logic. My name is Dr. Martel, and in this opening lecture, I just want to go over some of the more important parts of our syllabus and then try and explain what you can expect in this Introduction to Logic generally and Symbolic Logic in particular course week to week. So I'm going to give you like kind of a rundown on pretty much how every week is going to go. First of all, let me say a few words about the lectures, the video lectures, and the slideshows. So there probably is a more elegant way of combining the two, but for now what I've chosen to do is embed the videos within the slideshow. What I recommend that you do is when you encounter the slide that has the video embedded, go ahead and open up the video in a new window and then watch or listen while working your way through the slideshow in the original window. If I happen upon like a more elegant way of combining the two, I will of course change things up, and I'll definitely let you know what the new method is. So as far as our syllabus goes, a very important point has to do with the textbook. Our textbook is by Barwise and Etchemendy, and it's called Language, Proof, and Logic. This is an old first edition. You should, though, get the second edition. You should get the second edition because the software that accompanies the textbook is really crucial for this course. You need to use the software. And the software, for our purposes, it doesn't travel. Okay, the software allows you to access an automated grading service. We're going to make use of that service. It's all but impossible to make use of that service if you have a used textbook. Okay, and that's because basically in order to use that automated grading service, you have to register with the service, and when you do that, it will ask you for your email address, right? Or at least the email address that you want to use to employ this service. Okay, those don't travel, right? So if you're buying a used copy of this, even if it includes the software, that copy has a registration number that undoubtedly goes with the email address that the previous owner chose to utilize. So unless they hand over not only the book and the software, but like their email account too, you're just not going to be able to make use of a used copy of the book. So I urge you to get a new copy, either a physical copy, which runs for about I think $80, or a paperless copy that comes with the software for about $55. And if there is a problem with the bookstore having enough physical copies, there is a way to very quickly obtain the electronic $55 paperless package. You can find a place to purchase it by clicking on the link that appears on the textbook slide in this slideshow. Right, another, of course, very important part of the syllabus has to do with grades. The course grade as a whole is going to be determined by grades for 3 components. So first of all, weekly homework assignments altogether are going to contribute 20% of the course grade. Discussions that we'll have just about every week, altogether they're going to contribute another 20% to the course grade as a whole. And then we'll have 3 exams, including a final exam, spaced evenly apart. Each of those is going to contribute 20%. And so that should all add up to 100%. Late work is not accepted, except in cases of documented emergency. Oh, and for most assignments, and that's homework, discussions, and exams, the due date is the end of the Sunday of the week in which the assignment is given. So as you'll see when you open up the week 1 module on on Canvas. You have a homework assignment. There's also a discussion. Both the homework assignment and the discussion have to be completed prior to the end of the following Sunday. Okay. So that's how that is going to work. Here's how each week of the quarter is going to go, aside from finals week. So at the beginning of the week, a new module will appear on Canvas. Each week's module will start with instructions and learning objectives. Okay. That part will be marked read, colon, and then instructions and learning objectives. Okay. That's how to access that page. You should read these, obviously, at the beginning of the week, and then I think it's a good idea to review them at the end of the week, especially like the learning objectives. It's important to review those. You'll want to ask yourself at the end of the week, have I achieved those objectives, or at least have I made progress towards achieving those objectives? The homework will give you some sense of where you stand. Okay? If you do not think that you are achieving those objectives, it's a good idea to kind of reach out, shoot me an email, ask to meet. We can meet over Zoom, and then try and make sure that you are closer, at least, to achieving the week's objectives. Also, each week there will be some combination of a slideshow and a lecture on that week's subject matter, right? And you'll find the link to that or those where it says view in the weekly module. There's going to be a reading assignment pretty much every week until the last one, and this will be noted by task, which again appears in the weekly module, and there'll be a homework assignment based upon exercises in our textbook. Finally, there's going to be a discussion too, pretty much every week. And I say a little bit about why homework is so important later on. Let me now say a few words about why discussion is so important. I've taught this class in one form or another many times. What I've learned through teaching this course over and over again is that, of course, right, people taking the course stand to learn like a great deal from our textbook authors. I too can be very helpful in clarifying concepts and giving people tips for how to solve certain problems. But your peers, colleagues in class, fellow students, they too are often crucial, really, in helping you progress with the material, right? It's sometimes the case that other students have a way of going about solving a particular problem that I didn't see, right? Or that wouldn't be obvious given what our textbook authors have to say. So I think each of you does have a real opportunity to learn from fellow students. I think that many of you, if not all of you, like also have an opportunity here to help teach your fellows. And that's also important for progressing in the course, making headway with its subject matter for yourself. I mean, sometimes one of the best ways to come to understand a subject matter is to try and explain it to other people. So again, I just want to emphasize, right, the importance of engaging in these discussions. The first discussion is just going to be like a round of introductions. Later discussions They will either involve the whole class or small groups, or some combination of the two. And mostly, though, they will be about solving various problems in symbolic logic as they come up. Okay, so now about the homework. The primary goal of this course is to learn a number of skills associated with good reasoning. A means to that end, as well as an end in itself, is learning to become proficient in an artificial language known as first-order logic, or FOL. That's the acronym. First-order logic, FOL. Regardless of whether we are considering the overarching end or the means to achieve it, practice is necessary. Homework exercises provide much-needed opportunities for practice, so they really must be done. Failing to do them will not only adversely impact the grade for the homework component of the course grade, so 20%, right? But will also almost certainly negatively impact exam scores. Doing the homework requires learning to use software included with our textbook, including Submit, a program that both gives you instant feedback on your work and also reports that work to me so that I can report it and also assess your progress in understanding course content. So the very first thing you need to do before doing any of the homework is to learn to use Submit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to do what you're asked to try to do in the introduction of our book. There's a section called You Try It in the introduction to the book. Read through that section, follow the instructions. Okay. Please use my name, that's Timothy Martell, as the instructor name, and my email address, all lowercase, timothy.martell@gmail.com, as the instructor's email address. Of course, your own names and email address will vary. You should receive a registration code with your textbook package or registration ID. You'll need to type that in as well, and that's what's going to link like your textbook software package, right, to a particular email. In any case, the opening page on Submit looks like this, and I have it on a slide in the slideshow. The slide is titled "Submit, You Try It." Okay. On the next slide, you'll see what Submit is going to look like as you work through those instructions. The instructions are going to ask you to find a file. And there are really two ways of doing this. You can, on Submit, click on File up in the upper left-hand corner, and that'll bring down a file menu. Or you can also find files using the button in Submit on the lower left-hand corner. You should go to the LPL, or Language, Proof, and Logic folder, and I believe it's asking you for a file in Tarski's World, so you're going to go to that. And then open up Tarski's World, find the file that I believe is World Submit 1. Okay, click on that. You're going to add it to the files to be submitted, and then go ahead and click to submit. Click to submit the file. When you do that, you'll have the option of having the system notify me that you've submitted this file. That's an option you should always choose when completing homework. You don't need to do that for this initial try it out exercise with Submit. Okay. What should happen is you'll pretty much immediately receive an email back from the grading service acknowledging that you have submitted this file. Okay. If anything goes wrong, right? Well, I would suggest trying it more than once. If you're frustrated though and it's just not working, do send me an email. Okay, you can send me an email either at my Gmail address. Better actually would be to send me an email through the Canvas communication system. or send an email to my Clark address, like using regular Clark email. Let me know what's going on, and either, right, your problem is similar to a problem that many other students are having, and I can address that problem in an announcement on Canvas, or, right, we can arrange for a meeting, perhaps on Zoom, and just work out the issues, sort of by sharing screens and such. Okay, so please, first of all, try the You Try It in the introduction, and hopefully it will go swimmingly. And that is all. You're welcome.